Walking the Spiritual Life. January 23, 2015. There are many opinions floating around concerning spirituality. Some do say and consider true deep inner spirituality is not meant for the world you are currently living. And there are some who claim any practice of spirituality should only be practiced during the evening hours in order to gain all the experiences of the external world during the daytime hours. Everyone may have an opinion, but it does not mean that their opinions are correct or even love-filled. We encourage the practice of spirituality at the time that is best for you, regardless if it's during the wee hours of the morning, midday, or sometime in the evening. The practice of spirituality is not segregated to just a certain number of people and traditions. All peoples of this fine planet can practice and exercise their spirituality. When practicing, understand your spiritual life can never be artificial. If you are practicing just to win favors, or put yourself in the center of attention, then your practice is not natural or true. For the external aspect of your life, you require sustenance in order to maintain a healthy life. Yet in regards to your spiritual life, where you are nourishing your inner self and life, what you need is illumination. Until you discover illumination, ignorance remains. In order to enter into the realm of your inner person, you must be inspired, have reason. And when you have your inspiration, aspiration is what comes forth. When you have goals, you can bring yourself one step closer to your union with God. Those that accept their spiritual life recognize there is no need to demonstrate any kind of disapproval of the external world, while at the same time not rejecting the external world completely. They accept and embrace the world as it is, trying in each moment to fulfill their purpose in the world around them in a way that is divine and meaningful, following God's will. You may not agree with everyone that crosses your path, and that is one of the challenges you are greeted with daily, regardless if you are on the spiritual quest or a personal one. You learn to rise above those that don't agree with you, by being thankful and appreciative for their opinion and stance in life and move on, continuing with the purpose you have put into place from the goals you have set. The spiritual life can often be described as lonely, simply because you spend more and more time on your own in solitude, reflecting, becoming more one with the nature around you which is intrinsic with the nature within you. You are connected to all things. Remember, dear ones, you always have a companion with you, the best of friends, yet many overlook this simply because they cannot see. They cannot see because they are busy looking for a physical sign. Within you, dear ones, you have all that you ever will need to achieve all your spiritual goals. You don't need to calibrate this or activate that. There is no special intricate guideline to follow or a set of rules. All is there, ready to be discovered by you when it's the right time. You also have within you an inflexible enemy. This enemy is your ignorance. It is your ego and ignorance that often has you thinking and believing that you will never achieve those goals or achieve any kind of spiritual attainment. Its language to you is dreadfully negative, and it is revealed to you through your thoughts and feelings, and you have yet to learn to consistently say no to these sabotaging attempts to keep yourself from progressing forward. You have within you your divinity that tells you are a child of God, and to Him you are everything. Walking the spiritual life, you also discover that it offers you something significant. As you walk the spiritual path more and more, and become more committed, you realize you are no longer bound by your frustrations or fears. You understand they have been holding you back, and the misery that is rampant in your present life is a result of holding on to your fears, frustrations, and resentments, and by not allowing harmony to touch every corner of your life. When you overcome your fears, you invite harmony. You allow yourself to excel and bring fulfillment into your life and become virtuous in action. Your inner self and life responds cheerfully when you are no longer bound by your fears, and encourages you to devote more time to anchoring the ideal life you know in your heart and soul you want to have. Did you know, dear ones, that there are two sides to hope? There is the common and mundane hope, then there is spiritual hope. The mundane hope is nil. It is the one that has you dreaming of living in great fortresses in the sky. Nothing is done to improve yourself, yet you hope that one day nevertheless you will be great or powerful. Yet spiritual hope, is cherished and comes from a place of truth that lives within each of you. Spiritual hope is charged extra with aspiration even if you are unaware of this. Spiritual hope is the bringer of reality. It is able to see the reality, and while you are seeing what is forming before you, it also becomes the reality. Hope in this context takes you on a journey into the realm of pure faith, the same faith that helps to sustain both your internal and external life. And it gets better. The pureness of your faith comes forward and directs you in that moment to look toward God with eyes of love and aspiration and know you are infinitely connected to God's divine compassion. As you meet God halfway in any endeavor you are trying to make happen, you and God are working together. As you gain God's compassion, understanding God is then needing your aspiration. As you fulfill your each goal and ambition, God fulfills you. Of course there are people, even in this modern world, that will tell you that true spirituality is no longer alive, that it is dead. You know that this is untrue. Yes, there are a few among you that have learned quite well how to stretch the truth and how to cleverly have you believe what they say, but in time, their falseness becomes known. There are true deep followers of many spiritual traditions among you. They follow the direction of God and the divine as best they can, and some even have the ability to telepathically communicate with God. It is true the world you live in now is terribly materialistic. But there is also a great spiritual movement that no matter the era, will never be contained or left to die out. Spirituality is a necessity not only to God but to the people of the world. Spirituality aligns you with your natural, unfettered self, and with God's divine light and love. Because of all the new temptations and distractions, maintaining a truthful and honest spiritual life has become a great challenge. Distractions come in many forms and sizes, and have the ability to derail you in seconds. It is important to be flexible but also to be firm with the quests you are on, and the goals you are working on achieving. It is vital for you to comprehend, dear ones, that spirituality in essence is the flame to all your ambitions. You don't have to follow God to understand that inside you is a spark that becomes kindled into a flame when you have an ambition, and you are working to make this dream and hope a reality. It is a cry from the heart and the surging of your soul that works for you and with you to better and fulfill your internal and external lives. If the thought or feeling ever enters your being that the spiritual life that you have undertaken has you feeling you have been taken away from the materialistic life, understand that would be a huge mistake, and something for you to work through. Contrary to thinking or feeling you are missing out on something, the spiritual life helps to open your eyes, and it offers clarity and new perspectives. Spirituality also provides you with ways on how to cope alongside the materialistic world, while gaining mastery of the physical world and learning how even the material world can be of help that is positive and uplifting. The material world is draining and exhausting for those that live within it. It kills by feeding you with frustration and disappointment. The more one wants in the material world, the more one is unable to get because there is no fulfillment being met, and eventually you find yourself unable to give what the material world wants. You can master the material world without belonging to it. And that, dear ones, is by being in control of your own inner light, managing your experiences and keeping yourself aligned with your inner fulfillments, and by allowing yourself to become stronger by not succumbing to the material temptations. You remain true to your natural inner self that radiates out into your external world. If you are aiming only to enjoy what the world has to offer, then you are missing out on becoming whole with life. As you go deep within your inner self, by exploring and discovering, you come to realize in order to have any iota of enjoyment, you must put an end to the current way you are living and being and adopt a newer, brighter way, a way that filled with spirit and inner joy by realizing you do have a divine purpose for being here. You are wise and strong. As you gain more insight on your true inner person, you understand what spiritual joy and happiness is. You understand at a profound level that true enjoyment is not found in anything material but from within. The peace and calm you find by going within and getting to know your natural self can be practiced in your external life. You are able to bring fulfillment and victory to your life, just by becoming more consistent and more focused by adopting an attitude that is effective, divine, and of the heart, where no ego is spurning you on or holding you back. The life before you is your reality, and you are able to become one with God when you take the time to connect to your inner life and person. Understand, dear ones, your external life should be an indicator of your inner life. Try not to cause your inner life and external life to become separated. Unite them. Don't compromise one for the other. Find a way that helps you to recognize your external life through your internal life. You have what it takes to fulfill all your wants and needs in your external life by living through your inner life. As you apply to make this happen, know that God will be showering you with blessings that are filled with His infinite light and love. You will not need to see God because you will feel God as you reach forward and upwards. Don't allow spirituality to die in your life. Become present in your world and breathe in the breath and life of spirituality, and know that any success will be yours as you apply your whole and complete effort each and every time. To be excellent instead of working on being perfect will help you to fulfill and achieve in ways you thought not possible. When you come to accept your inner self as your friend as you maneuver on this spiritual path, you will no longer feel alone. Know, dear ones, that God's infinite bounty of love, light, mercy, bliss, and energy will always be yours as you make a little room for Him in your heart. Remember, this is your life. Only you can direct the route you need to be on and how you will get there. Maintaining a true spiritual life is a choice only you can make. It is a choice that requires maturity in both intelligence and in emotion. Life does not become harder because you choose to live spiritually. It actually will become easier as you let go of any hindering complexities and adopt a simpler way of living and being that is a demonstration of the purity of your heart and soul in action. And so it is. I am Ascended Master, Serapis Bey through Julie Miller. SpiritualNetworks.com